Chapter 33. Both the Messenger and the Message. Citra carried him inside. She set him on the sofa and made a tourniquet to staunch the blood. He groaned, beginning to rouse, and when he broke the tenuous surface of consciousness, his first thought was of her. "You should not be here," he said, his words weak and slurred, an effect of his pain nanites flooding his system. Still, he grimaced in bleary agony. "We have to get you to a hospital," she told him. "This is too much for your nanites to handle." "Nonsense. They've already taken the edge off the pain. As for healing, they'll do the job without intervention." "But I have no other option," he told her. "Going to a hospital will alert the Scythedom that I'm still alive." He shifted position, grimacing only slightly. "Between nature and nanites, my knee will heal. It'll just take time, of which I have no shortage." She elevated his leg, bandaged it, then sat on the floor beside him. "Were you so resentful of my leaving you that you had to exact your revenge in the flesh?" he asked, only half joking. "Are you so offended that I managed a method of secretly retiring instead of actually gleaning myself?" "I thought you were someone else," she told him. "Someone named Gerald Vandergans." "My birth name," he told her. "A name I surrendered when I became Honorable Scythe Michael Faraday. But none of this explains your presence here. I freed you, Citra. You and Rowan both. By faking my own gleaning, you were both freed from your apprenticeship. You should be back in your old life, forgetting that I had plucked you from it. So why are you here?" "You mean you don't know?" He pulled himself up slightly so he could see her more directly. "Don't know what?" And so she told him everything. How, instead of being freed, she and Rowan had ended up with Scythe's Curie and Goddard. How Xenocrates had tried to pin Faraday's murder on her, and how Scythe Curie had helped her get to him. As she spoke, he put his hands to his eyes, as if he might gouge them out. "To think I was complacent here while all this was going on!" "Well, how could you not know?" she asked, for in her mind he always seemed to know everything, even the things he could not possibly know. Scythe Faraday sighed. "Marie, Scythe Curie that is the only member of the Scythedom who knows I'm still alive. I am completely off grid now. The only way to reach me would be in person. So she sent you. You are both the messenger and the message." The moment became uncomfortable. Thunder rumbled in from the sea, much closer now, the flashes of lightning brighter. "Is it true you died 7 deaths for her?" He nodded. "And her for me. She told you that, did she? Well, it was a very long time ago." Outside, the rain finally began to fall, surging in fits and starts. "I love the way it rains here," he told her. "It reminds me that some forces of nature can never be entirely subdued. They are eternal, which is a far better thing to be than immortal." And so they sat listening to the soothing randomness of the rain until Citra began to grow too weary to even think. "So what happens now?" she asked. "Very simple, actually. I heal and you rest. Anything beyond that is conversation for a future date." Then he pointed. "The bedroom's in there. I expect a full night's sleep from you, followed by a recitation of your poisons in the morning in order of toxicity." "My poisons?" In spite of his pain and drug-induced haze, Scythe Faraday smiled. "Yes, your poisons. Are you my apprentice or not?" Citra couldn't help but smile right back at him. "Yes, Your Honor, I am." The longer we live, the quicker the days seem to pass. How troublesome that is when we live forever. A year seems to pass in a matter of weeks. Decades fly with no milestone to mark them. We become settled in the inconsequential drudgery of our lives until suddenly we look at ourselves in the mirror and see a face we barely recognize, begging us to turn a corner and be young again. But are we truly young when we turn the corner? We hold the same memories, the same habits, the same unrealized dreams. Our bodies may be spry and limber, but toward what end? No end, never an end. I do believe mortals strived more heartily toward their goals because they knew that time was of the essence. But us? We can put things off far more effectively than those doomed to die because death has become the exception instead of the rule. The stagnation that I so fervently glean on a daily basis seems an epidemic that only grows. There are times I feel I am fighting a losing battle against an old-fashioned apocalypse of the living dead. From the Gleaning Journal of H.S. Curie.